Okay, so moving on.
Okay, so as
so yeah, the adamantium bullets there.
Yeah,
yes.
as I was saying, the the way they did it in the movie, I kind of understand because, like I said in the books, they just had him. They just said, well, he heals traumatic memories, although that doesn't explain why he still remembers it. Up until that point, he still remembered, the wars he'd been through and what happened to him as a kid, and his parents dying and all of that. Yeah, those memories didn't get healed. I guess there's that either they weren't traumatic enough, or the theory itself doesn't hold water. Here, they wanted to make sure that the audience know exactly what happened that caused him to lose his memory, so they put an adamantium bullet in his head. But then they didn't. But that doesn't really work either, because it seems really clumsily done in the explanation.
That's an interesting thing Super Geek Mike brings up. He said he really wanted to see Silver Fox make him forget. And I was like, I think that might have actually worked a little bit better.
Yeah, because she could do that.
Yeah. It might have even made it somehow more tragic in some way, although I'm not sure what the reasoning would be for why she would do it, but it would kind of
she wants to protect him from everything that happened, or maybe because she feels guilty about what she did to him.
She knows she's going to die, so she wants to make him forget, spare him the pain, maybe, get him to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind territory. I don't know.
Kind of. Actually, that would have probably worked better, and then the adamantium bullet randomly somewhere put in the brain.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm sorry, do you have more to say? I saw someone else ask about something else. Someone else.
The last thing I was going to mention was Xavier, so go ahead.
Oh, well, we can talk about Xavier. I just saw someone ask about what we thought of Sabretooth, but...
Well, Xavier and then Sabretooth.
Okay, so, Xavier.
Xavier couldn't have shown up, Charles couldn't have shown up any sooner to save everybody. Xavier, yes.
Well, I mean, I suppose if he had Cerebro, he could have,
he
would have had to turn it on humans then if he could.
No. It's not just Cerebro. He's close enough to them that he could have just put a whammy on all the soldiers there and cut,
I don't know. He's very powerful. I'm not sure if he's that powerful. That's
he's
why
level 4,
but that's why one of the reasons why he has Cerebro is to amplify.
That for everyone, for all mutants, but
not just all, but more. It's how he finds them.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about everyone. Just the people on 3 Mile Island. Just the people involved in this one.
That's still a lot. I'm not sure if he can do that. I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I think he could have. He was talking to Scott. He was.
One person.
Yes, telling him how to get out of there. But it seems like he could have done more.
Yeah, he did stop the whole museum, at least the room.
Exactly.
Of the museum there. Yeah.
He could have just paralyzed, at least stopped the minds of the people in charge there, so that the kids could get away, and it wouldn't have been, because if he shut down Stryker, he would have shut down Weapon 11, because he's got the mind control thing. All he does is do what Stryker tells him to do. All he had to do was shut down Stryker's mind, and the whole thing wouldn't have happened. He's right there. Xavier's right there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is something, but it's convenient as far as him showing up late, as opposed to showing up and saving everyone. Maybe he was going to, and Wolverine beat him to the punch. I don't know, but he was. But again, it's kind of what I was talking about before in terms of the movie kind of just being, let's get to another cameo, and we're supposed to just be like, oh, there's Xavier for the sake of it being Xavier, and I guess they were thinking of it being, bleeding into the first one, which, was there, but it's like, I don't know. If it's meant to be a cameo, so it's just meant to be a cameo, I guess. I don't know. But... And
I hate it that affects on
but
his
it didn't
face.
seem necessary, except for the sake of, there's Patrick Stewart. It's like...
But putting Xavier in here almost it screws up the climactic ending, because Xavier could have saved everyone. He could have helped out, but he didn't. It's like, so why have him there? It'd be better if he wasn't there,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love Patrick Stewart, of course.
Oh, yes.
Patrick Stewart is necessary. I love seeing him. I just wish, I don't know. I wish there was a better movie around the cameo. I don't know, but regardless,
it's just the way he entered made it so that you feel like, oh, but anyway. And I didn't. It's that reverse age effects thing still looks creepy to me. They still need. I think that kind of technology still needs a lot of work before it looks good. Because
I think it looked better in X3. This, for some reason, this actually looked worse.
This looked so much worse. He looked like he was animated. He looked like he was not real. The face just looked so fake. You know?
Bad Botox or something.
Yeah, it's the reverse age technology that they use. They use for certain actors.
Yeah,
sometimes for scenes that take place.
I also think some of the effects in general were a bit, I don't know, I want to say poorly rendered, or if it was just a little bit cheaper than it has been in the past. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, maybe this movie didn't have as big a budget as an X-Men movie.
Maybe they weren't. They were just taking their. Some parts look better than others as far as the effects on here. It's kind of, I don't know. But anyway, and also I noticed it seemed like the claws were always CG. I couldn't find a shot where they ever replaced it with real claws like they did in the other ones. I'm not sure. But yeah, the storm part, the storm sequence was cut. Yeah, there was no. I know people were talking about like we're supposed to see Storm as a little girl in Africa when they go there, but there's a brief shot of it in the preview, but it's not in the movie. So I don't know why it's cut. One more cameo, why not? I don't know.
Little girl, or as like a teenage girl, because no way is Halle Berry younger than Jason Marsden. I mean, than James Marsden.
Or Gambit. No, I don't know.
Or Gambit, yeah.
Well, actually, I came across Gambit later. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anyway, speaking of Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Let's get into Sabretooth.
Okay. I think that I like Liev Schreiber as an actor.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's great, and I think given the fact that he's not typically who you would think of as Sabretooth physically. I think Tyler Mane fit the build there, but he is a very good actor, and he he can have a powerful presence when he wants to, and I think he did here, and I think I liked his the way he acted. I mean, he was again, the acting is great. I do wish the relationship, the nature of it was a little bit. I mean, you see a little bit of sibling rivalry. They get into it a little bit that. Like his father always beat him up, but he couldn't wait to get to see James, and call him son, whatever. That he kind of felt a little jealous there.
They didn't get into any of that.
But they didn't. Yeah. But that just left that up to you, and which is fine. But they didn't really.
They made it seem like they were best friends until Sabretooth went out of control.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure. They kind of made Wolverine, I think, a tiny bit softer in this movie than the other ones, for the sake of, I think, making Sabretooth look that much worse, that much meaner. Which I didn't think they had to. I think, Wolverine could still seem a badass, but I think they felt like in order to seem... They pulled back on Wolverine to make Sabretooth seem that much worse, and I don't know.
Well, he was younger. Yeah. He was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he was younger. Even though he looks a tad bit older, he's supposed to be younger. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
See, that's also the thing that you have to do in your head. You're like, Wolverine's younger in this one. He's younger than the way we saw him in all of the X-Men movies. So he may be...
But still, he's 175 years old, It's like, I don't know. Thank you. But I think people are saying Schreiber or Tyler Mane. And I say, well, I think...
physically?
It's very different. It's very different. But I think... I thought they were going to change him into Tyler Mane at some point during the movie. Especially kind of thought that maybe they left to us to imagine. But at one point, Sabretooth is like, he's like, I want the adamantium in me. He's like, if he can take it, I can. He's like, no, you can't. But he says, don't worry, Victor, your time will come. Which led me to believe that maybe they did a procedure on him and he goes and mutates and morphs into Tyler Mane,
a huge guy,
Tyler Mane Sabretooth, and maybe that also causes some amnesia-ish something. That's where I thought maybe
doesn't remember either,
because they didn't know each other, to know each other at all.
Exactly, but they didn't explain
Victor
that at all.
Victor didn't even seem to. He didn't even
react.
He never taunted him in X1 like, "Hey, I know," and he's like, "I don't know." I don't know. And causes the hair. Suddenly the hair. Yeah, I don't know.
It's exactly. I thought they were. Yeah, we both thought they were going to explain. And no Stan Lee cameo. Ah.
Yeah.
Missed that. Yeah, that I did miss.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, no, Stan Lee. Yeah. But I thought at least maybe Len Wein, because, I mean,